to touch base on. We want you to remind, you, we don't want to remind us, we want to remind you that attitude determines altitude. Now, it's real easy to be negative, real easy. But if you have a good attitude, you're going to fly and go far. And you're going to experience a lot of troubles in your life, and you're going to make it through those times, and your attitude is half the battle, all right? Don't whine and complain and make excuses, because it's not going to change anything. It's just going to make people not want to be around you. So keep on pushing and fight through that. We're going to head over to the weight room in about 1 minute or so here, and we're going to continue to learn how we can build our muscles using resistance. All right? This particular muscle we're going to learn today opposes one of the muscles we learned last time. And last time, of course, we learned about, actually 2 times ago, our erector spinae on the trunk lift, which straightens the back, strength from straightening our back. Today we're going to learn about the rectus abdominis. The rectus abdominis, it bends the spinal cord, all right? Flexes over. This makes the body bend over the spinal cord. Also, in the front, it also works bringing the lower part of the body up too, flexing the bottom part of the spinal cord. And also, of course, protects the vital organs. So we're going to head over there very shortly, but now a word from Mr. Horn in Bay.
Remember, guys, where's Ducko? Let's hear the clap, guys. Quack. That'll do it. That wakes Ducko up. So the key is find the duck. It could either be in this room and route to the weight/cardio room, or en route back here to the climbing room. So keep that in mind. You guys ready?
All right, let's go.
Duck, duck, goose.
Here we are, back in the weight room. We've got the cardio section right here. We've got Mr. G's desk. Mr. G's bike is right there.
Indeed.
Got the door locked.
That reminds me of a song when you said we're back. Remember, back in the fast lane.
That's life in the fast lane.
How about back in the saddle again?
I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back.
Little country, little CW.
Yeah.
And it's nice and dark in here. Look at these lights go on automatically once you get them on for the first time. There we go.
All right, here we are.
And cool.
Yeah,
And
nice in here. Nice and cool in here.
Sorry, guys. All right. I love making these guys laugh. I did it on purpose, guys. I did it on
We're
purpose.
making this video. Today's Friday. We're making this video. It's been a long week.
All right, the abs are an easy muscle to work, but they take work, and additionally, a lot of people work them, but they are challenging. So you got to make sure you get them in. Now, what's the function of the abs? Remember, to build the spine, to bend the spine. So your body bends over, all right? It connects the front, upper half of your body and the bottom half of your body. So you can do a number of exercises, all right? And a couple we're going to show you today are very challenging, and we'll show you how to do them, okay? The first one that you can do is you can climb up either on the dip bar or the pull-up bar. I'm going to use the dip bar first, all right? You're going to come up, hold yourself up, if you can hold yourself up, and you're just going to bring your knees up towards your chest. Just bring your knees up towards your chest, knees up towards your chest, all right? You can do, those are a version of leg lifts. If you had Mr. Shoemake last year, you know leg lifts are one of my favorite. Standard leg lift, you just lay on the ground, and you have your feet together, toes pointed at the sky, and you want to bring your feet 6 to 12 inches off the ground and squeeze your abs. And you can do that for 30 seconds, a minute. And that will be a great ab workout. Now, when you do it on the bar, all right, you can bring your knees up towards your chest, and that's going to work your abs, particularly your lower abs. Now, if you're really good at that, what you can do to add resistance is come over to our trusty dumbbells, and might be a little challenging to do with my flops on, my slide. We'll do it anyway, all right? Bring yourself up, add the dumbbell to your feet, and then continue the motion. Lower yourself down carefully so you don't break your ankle, all right? And then, as always, put the dumbbells back where you got them from. Okay, the abs are a unique muscle, and the reasoning that they work both ways. So we can do leg lifts, or we can work our upper muscles of our abs. This is one exercise that I think is probably my favorite, and it's challenging. This is called the ab wheel.
Oh, yeah.
And if you get good at this thing, forget about it. Let me tell you, this is probably the best exercise for the abs. Now, the interesting thing about the abs and the core is, even a bodybuilder who wants to get really big and strong, they don't want to build big ab muscles, all right? Because the goal for a bodybuilder is to have strong performing abs, but they don't want them to expand. They want their body to be at a nice taper. Big muscles, and then have their core come down and be nice and flat and nice and small. But this is one of the best things to develop that look. If you're looking for just strength, your core gets a lot of work in when you do a squat, when you do a bench press, when you do other things for your stabilizing muscles. But if you want to get a nice, strong midsection with a good look, this is the number one thing. Let me show you how it works. Let me get a pad, just so Mr. Shoemake's knees don't age and you come off with it.
Mr. Mitchell, you've seen the ab wheel, haven't you?
I have seen the ab wheel, and again, I want to tell the kids, that whole station right there is called the power rack. So when you watch Mr. Shoemake do his chair raises or leg raises, he's using the power rack. That is the apparatus that he is using.
Indeed. Power rack, pull-up bar, dip bar on the power rack. This is a wonderful rack that can be used for probably about 50 different exercises to help you out. Okay. Here, the ab wheel goes in your hands. You're going to get down on your knees. I like to use a mat so that way I don't throw my knees out. Okay? You're going to grab the ab wheel in a hand either side of the grip, put it on the ground, and then you've got to lean on it. Now what you want to do, you can cross your knees or your feet in the back. We'll show you when we do the side view of this. All right? All you're going to do is lay out as flat as you can go without taking your hands off the wheel and rolling out all the way into you are flat on the ground without laying on the ground. So you're going to roll forward, all the way flat, and then roll all the way back up. Roll forward, and then all the way back up. Now when I'm doing that, my body's expanding straight, and then bending back over. And it may look a little different when I'm doing the exercise, but if you think about it, right, my hands and my body is bending. Well, what bends my body at the spine? The abs. So I'm bringing all this resistance from the body weight into my core. That's how it works. And we'll show you from the side how it looks. Here we are, both hands. I like to personally put my knees down and cross my legs to create a better leverage point. And roll all the way up flat, and then all the way back up. All the way up flat, and all the way back up. And you want to squeeze your abs nice and firm each time. Now, when you use body weight, probably 12 to 15 is a good rep range. And how many sets do we want to do? We're starting with 3. But that's not written in stone, but for beginners, 3 is a good number. What's your favorite core exercise, Mr. Moore-Henwick?
I like the ab wheel. The ab wheel is hard. I call them leg throw ups. You're kind of laying down on your back, put your hands under your rear end, you throw your legs up, or you can reach up and touch your toes while your legs are fully extended.
Like a V-sit, sure. Or you reach up and grab your toes every time?
Yes.
Like a V-sit.
Just, yeah.
What do I mean, Mr. Mitchell?
I'm a bird dog kind of guy. I love the bird dog. And I know you guys have been doing bird dogs in the yoga videos that we've been using, but when I got that arm out there and that leg out there, I can really feel my core tightening.
And look, Mr. Mitchell's class, I'll be honest, he's doing the yoga when you're doing it. He really is. I wouldn't give him credit if he wasn't, but
Yeah,
he really is.
we see him do it.
So it's pretty good. All right. Another exercise you can do is a sit-up. You know what a sit-up is? But you can grab a weight plate, put it across your chest, and do a sit-up with a weight. That's another way you can build your abs. The abs are unique. There are many exercises for them. But with everything else, just like everything else, you can add weight to any normal exercise once you are at an efficient place for it. But we got 4 exercises for the abs that we showed you. A leg lift. You can do the leg lift hanging from the pull bar. Bring your knees up. Or you can do it from the dip bar as we showed you. You can do the ab wheel or a regular leg lift from the ground. Or like Mr. Morningway says, instead of the ones where you're holding them there at a static pace, bring them all the way up and bring them back down. And Ben Lee, if you were here, I would say I would show the dragon flag, but he's not, so we won't. But tell Ben and Tom I say hello. All right, gentlemen, shall we head back?
Let's do it.
Riding a bike is great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that hot weekend in October and got out of the house. A lot of my kids, Mr. Mitchell, I asked them how much time were they spending in front of the screen with this very unique situation. And they said some of them 12 to 15 hours a day.
Oh, that's way too much time in front of a computer. You gotta get outside more, kids. You gotta get outside.
We understand that it's a unique situation, but use your backyard, go on a hike, do something. Don't forget, motion is the key to life. All right, abs, nice and strong. Mr. Moore Henry, what do we got up next?
Next, guys, we're going to go to the sports factor. Mr. Mitchell, what do you got for us today, Mr. Mitchell?
All right, I'm switching up sports. I did hockey for the first 3 or 4. I'm gonna go football.
Yeah!
And I'm gonna start with the Super Bowl. What Super Bowl did the 49ers play in last year? What number was it? And who did they play? And who won?
That's a very good question. Nice multiple question. Hope you get it. Mr. Mitchell, unfortunately, only one person in my entire, all periods, could answer who the greatest hockey player of all time was without Google.
No!
Only one.
Only one knew was Wayne Gretzky.
Only one. The great one.
That was a great one.
He was so good that if you were to go to a hockey season now, you got a great, I'm talking about great scoring line would be someone who had 130 total points, 50 goals, and 80 assists. That would be phenomenal. In 1984 or 5, I forget which year, Wayne Gretzky had 215 points. He more than doubled it and had 92 goals. That's how good he was.
He was great. He was great.
Well, John the Geographer, what do you got for us today?
Well, John Geographers here. Not that many people knew that San Francisco was not just the only bay here, all right? 3 bays in the Bay Area. San Francisco Bay. Once you go north into the pocket, you have the San Pablo Bay. And then once you go under the Martinez Bridge, you have Suisun Bay, all right? 3 different bays. Now, some of you guys may never find yourself on the water, but water is physical activity too. You got surfing, you got jet skiing, but more importantly in the Bay Area, one big one is boating and sailboating. So you got to know where you are and know how to read currents. Now, this is an easy one. It's intended to be an easy one. But Some of you guys, I got a feeling, may not know it. Prove me wrong. Don't break my heart. What is the name of the creek that runs right by Bret Hart and Leland? Right at the end of the blacktop where we play basketball, handball, volleyball. If a ball goes over the fence, it goes into this creek. What is the name of that creek?
Good question. Good question. Guys, before the joke gesture shares the joke, I got one question for you guys. One question. Real quick. Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Shoemaker, when was the last time that you had to do something that you didn't want to do, but you did it anyway to be effective? Because we know that effective people do the things they don't like to do. Many of your students, you don't want to do the cardio video, I get it. You don't want to do the yoga. You don't want to watch the whole shoot time in the morning bitch video. Though all those things are beneficial, they can get burdensome sometimes and hard. So, Mr. Mitchell, when's the last time you did something that you didn't want to do, but to be effective, you chose to do it?
Well, sadly, Mr. Mortimer, as you and Mr. Shoemake know, I have a brand new knee. It's a total knee replacement. They took out all the old cartilage and bone that was in my knee, and they gave me a titanium knee. Now that sounds like it's a cool thing to have, you know, like a $6 million man or something like that. Yeah, jump higher, run faster. Well, to do any of that, you got to rehab. And I rehab every single day for this knee. And I'm telling you, some days I wake up and I don't want to rehab. I just don't want it. I don't want to go through the pain, and there is pain involved. And I don't want to dedicate that time that I have when I could be doing something else. But I realize that if I ever want my knee to be anything like it used to be, I got to go through this rehab. And so I'd say every day, rehab for me is something that, no, I don't want to do it, but I do it.
And that's something, as Mr. Shoemaker said in the weight room, we see him doing that every day, guys. So we all work out. Mr. Mitchell chooses to do it right when you're doing it, which is great. It's really good. How about you, Mr. Shoemaker? Something that you didn't want to do, but you did it to be effective.
Well, Mr. Martin Henwick, as you guys all know, when you guys have the bell ring at school, you guys go hang out with your friends or go home or go to T4 or do whatever, and then that's the end of your school day. You might have some homework later on, but you're out of it. Many of us have things and responsibilities that we have to do here that, you know, being frank, I don't necessarily enjoy. I like being here with the kids, getting them going, all that stuff. That's what I love. I love the energy you guys bring. But hate is a strong word. I don't enjoy doing a lot of things that are required, but we do them because that's what we have to do. And that's part of being a responsible adult. And one thing that comes to mind is, for instance, last Friday, we had a meeting that started at 3:15 and ran until 5 o'clock on a Friday right before a weekend. And it's not enjoyable, but you do what you have to do because it's required and you have to do it and be an effective person. I didn't shut off my camera. I didn't start watching another movie. I didn't do anything like that. You just do what you have to do to be responsible. HR squared.
There you go.
How about you, Mr. Martin?
Well, for me, I don't like making my bed. I don't like making the bed up in my wife in my room. So for years, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have an electric toothbrush. When I brush my teeth, I make my bed with one hand. And it takes, you know, a little bit of time. But by the time I make my bed, I'm done brushing my teeth. So that's something I don't like doing, but I think it's good to keep your bed made, do things properly and in order. I don't want to do it, but to be effective, I do it because it respects my wife, it respects the property that we own, the bed, the sheets, the blanket, etc.
How about brushing your teeth?
I'm getting better at that, but not great.
Mr. Martin, I'd like to throw something in for my class, and if you guys want to
Sure.
use it. At this very moment you guys are watching, honestly, right now, be honest with yourself, how many of your beds are made right this minute? That's what I'd like to ask.
Great question. I wonder what percent that would be. That's a great question. Make your bed. It's responsible. Being responsible.
Make your bed.
One more time, Mr. Mitchell.
Make it.
Guys, don't spell part backwards. Don't spell part backwards. It's a trap. One last principle I want to share with you guys before we close off here. All gave some gave all. Listen, you're going to be one or the other person. You're going to be the type of person to fake it and cut corners. You're going to give some, just enough to get by. However, there will be a handful of you, hopefully more, there will be a handful of you who give all. Now, you guys have had P students who give all no matter what. And it is, I'm telling you guys, you students it is such a delight as a teacher to have a student give their all. I don't care if you're playing football or volleyball or you're in a swim unit or war ball, you give your all. Give your all. Give everything. Everything. Not just a little bit of you, but everything.
Woo! We give it our all, and that was all of my ears. God help us all. What is going on here, Mr. Morning? Wait, what are we doing here?
Well, we're still building healthy relationships.
And what's the purpose of Red Heart?
HR squared.
Honesty, respect, responsibility. Keep on pushing yourself. Give it your all. That's basically what it means. Give it your all. Be the best you that you can be. Be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. Glad to have you back. Push on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Push!